We stand on the precipice of the 9th generation of video game consoles. Successor to the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One respectively, the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X are consoles geared towards power, accessibility, and perhaps most importantly of all, video games. Gone are the days of the Netflix and Kinect-oriented Xbox One launch, or the lackluster power of the PlayStation 4 Pro. Both Sony and Microsoft are bringing their A-game this generation, and it's my job in this video today to sift through what we know about both consoles in order to determine what we might expect going forward. Please note that I won't be going into the Xbox Series S in this video, I'm just going to be going over the higher end consoles. Without any further ado, let's get into it. Perhaps one of the biggest updates next generation is the jump from a hard disk drive to a solid state drive. What this means is that you can basically expect every single one of your games to load significantly faster on both consoles. That'll mean no more spending 10 years waiting for Grand Theft Auto 5 or Red Dead Redemption 2 to load. A great example of this is Sea of Thieves, which took 1 minute and 21 seconds to load on Xbox One X, but only 20 seconds on Xbox Series X. That's over 4 times faster. And the PlayStation 5 has an even faster SSD integrated, so while we don't have exact figures yet, you can expect the PS5 to be even faster. This is all great for current gen games, but what does it mean for next gen games? It means that games can be built from the ground up with SSDs in mind. The complete removal of load screens altogether is already happening in some games, such as Spider-Man and Miles Morales. Everything going into the next generation is going to become a lot more seamless, a lot faster, and a lot more efficient. It's not just the storage that has been improved however. Both are sporting 8-core CPUs at 3.5 and 3.8 GHz for the PS5 and Series X respectively, as well as 10 teraflops and 12 teraflops of graphical power, again on the PS5 and Series X respectively. Both are offering 16GB of GDDR6 RAM, and both offer support for 4K frame rates at 60 and potentially even 120 frames per second. In addition, they also have support for 8K video outputs. Well, I'll be incredibly surprised if any video game manages to make use of this, but, well, the original Xbox had 1080p support, so I don't know. All in all, this makes them a huge upgrade to the Xbox One X and PlayStation 4 Pro, and a colossal upgrade to the Xbox One S and PlayStation 4. It also puts them much closer to being on the same playing field as high-end PCs. An extremely high-end PC is still undoubtedly better, but at £449, these consoles are insanely better value for money. We will still see games as beautiful and as demanding as Microsoft Flight Simulator be able to run as beautifully and uncompromisingly on console, with ray tracing and higher frame rates to boot. Not only this, but both of these new consoles have a brand new sleek and modern design. The Xbox Series X and PS5 look like the fan-made renders of consoles you'd see when you type in PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5 into Google Images years before their respective consoles' release. The Xbox Series X is positively PC in its design, with a uniform symmetrical tower shape that's surprisingly small and extremely efficient cooling system. The PS5 on the other hand is a bit more bulky, but it has those sleek curvy white edges that make it look like something from the future. While Xbox has chosen to refine their previous controller into making it a better experience, with a textured grip, a new share button and a slightly sleeker design, PlayStation has chosen to completely scrap the DualShock series of controllers in favour of this new DualSense controller, a complete overhaul of the PlayStation controller design, featuring adaptive triggers, haptic feedback and a built-in microphone. But in fairness, I feel like this is going to be another Kinect sort of situation where the option to use it is there, but the microphone is going to be god awful, and I'll mute anyone who I hear using it. But I could be wrong, the microphone could be awesome. In this generation, hardware is being pushed a lot more than it was last generation, in which both the PS4 and Xbox One were already pretty outdated and weak machines, struggling to achieve 1080p at times when the world was standing on the brink of 4K. And that's good, it means the focus is on video games and the power they can achieve, and it future-proofs the console. While I do suspect we will still have another mid-gen console upgrade like we did this generation, the need for it will be a lot less dire. Xbox Series X in terms of graphical power is a more powerful machine, but not by a massive margin, and with a PlayStation 5's lightning fast SSD and vastly improved controller, these are both very powerful consoles for very good prices. In terms of software, PlayStation is going all out in their improvements for this generation. The key focuses this generation are accessibility and ease of use. Everything looks extremely streamlined, modern, and just the click of a button away. A new control center has been added to give you basic information like downloads and controller power from in-game, as well as screenshots and activities related to the game. Activities detail some of the objectives in the game you are playing inside the system OS, and let you check on your progress in manageable ways, and you can even jump straight to that activity in-game by pressing on the activity card. There's also screen sharing functionality in parties, an integrated PlayStation Store, and backward compatibility for almost all PlayStation 4 titles. Overall, the PS5 user experience is a lot more personal, a lot more comfortable, and it's going to feel a lot better going into the next generation than the somewhat clunky PS4 UI. On the Xbox side of things, like with their controller, they have chosen to streamline the Xbox One experience rather than start fresh with a whole new UI. Fonts have been improved, edges rounded, transitions snappier, and the console quicker, but on the whole it's still the same basic Xbox One user interface we've been experiencing since 2017. The console does however feature improved sharing functionality, full backwards compatibility with all Xbox One games, and any Xbox 360 or original Xbox games that worked on Xbox One working here too. Another brand new feature is Quick Resume, the ability to play multiple games at once and jump right back in where you left off, in part and thanks to the increase in RAM and the brand new SSD. And of course, the Series X continues to herald Xbox Game Pass, a great deal which gives you access to over 100 games for one monthly subscription and expanded every month. PlayStation has attempted to meet this with their PlayStation Plus collection, and while it does offer some outstanding games, the size of the library pales in comparison to what is offered on Xbox. When it comes to software, you would have to be a blind man not to see that PlayStation is trumping Xbox in this department. Focusing on evolution rather than just mere enhancement, the PlayStation 5 looks and feels like the true next-gen experience, whereas Xbox is still feeling like it has one foot firmly in the past. That's fine now for sure, but Xbox is going to require a lot of software updates to be able to stand toe-to-toe with PlayStation in 2 or 3 years' time. But what about the games? Games are what really matter for a video game console after all. What are both PlayStation and Xbox offering up this generation? Well, the PS4 smacked out of the park last generation with games like Uncharted 4, Horizon Zero Dawn, God of War, Spider-Man PS4, Death Stranding, and Ghost of Tsushima, and they're showing no signs of relenting going into the next generation. Horizon Forbidden West, God of War Ragnarok, Spider-Man Miles Morales, and Demon's Souls are all massively popular games from high-quality franchises and are all releasing within the first year of the PlayStation 5's launch. That's already 4 great reasons to pick up a PlayStation 5, and there's no reason you shouldn't expect to see more of this high quality maintained as the generation progresses. Xbox, on the other hand, is a bit more unclear and a bit more disappointing. Since the delay of Halo Infinite, there aren't actually any AAA exclusive launch titles for the Xbox Series X's launch, with Microsoft having to rely on third-party cross-generation titles like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Cyberpunk 2077, and Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War to market their console, all of which are releasing on the PlayStation 5 as well. However, it's not Xbox's present that concerns me, it's their future. Xbox has surely taken notes from Sony's performance last generation, and right now they're just gearing up to launch some of their exclusive titles. I've already mentioned Halo Infinite, but there's also Avowed, an Elder Scrolls style game by the developers of Fallout New Vegas and The Outer Worlds, Obsidian, a Fable reboot by Playground Games, and a new Forza Motorsport game, and we couldn't forget to mention Xbox's recent acquisition of Bethesda, putting huge titles like The Elder Scrolls, Fallout, and Doom into Xbox's hands. Whether this will mean Bethesda games will be exclusive to Xbox, I doubt it, but it will mean that Bethesda games will have exclusive benefits on Xbox Series X, that much is certain. And with Starfield and The Elder Scrolls 6 coming in the next couple of years, it will be very interesting to see what those benefits are. Having a publisher as massive as Bethesda on their side could be huge for Microsoft, but it's too early to know for certain what that could bring. When it comes to exclusives, there is a clear and undisputed winner here, and it's PlayStation. In the last 4 years especially, PlayStation has went above and beyond in delivering exclusives. Not only does PlayStation offer some of the best exclusives on the market, but they also offer some of the best video games on the market. That's not to say that Xbox does not have amazing potential. in 2, 3 or even 4 years the exclusive race is going to become a lot more competitive. But if you're just wanting to know which console is going to offer better games at launch, the answer is very obvious: PlayStation. PlayStation, in my opinion, won the last generation, and they are certainly continuing their winning streak going into the next generation and decade. With cutting-edge hardware rivaling high-end PCs, software that continues to innovate and place users in the future, and groundbreaking exclusive games that continue to achieve higher and higher praise, a PlayStation 5 at just £360 and £450 for the digital and non-digital versions respectively is a very wise investment, and you will not go wrong if this is your machine of choice for the next generation. However, the Xbox Series X is nothing to sneeze at either. Even more powerful than the PlayStation 5, with a huge catalogue of backward compatible games and Xbox Game Pass to boot, and the acquisition of Bethesda Softworks with huge potential in the years to come, an Xbox Series X at just £450 is also a perfectly valid option going into the next generation. But if you could only buy one console this generation, I would say go with a PlayStation 5. Not only will quality be assured in the years to come, but quality will be assured at launch as well. It features innovative software, an amazingly fast SSD, high quality exclusives, all while still being a very powerful console. For those reasons, it's the place where I think you're going to have the best experience on console. Thank you guys for making it this far into the video. This is a comeback for me of sorts, and I'm getting back into YouTube with 2 videos a week, so stay tuned for that. If you want to catch these 2 videos a week, please click that subscribe button. If you liked the video and want to show your support, drop a like, and with that said, I'll see you guys in the next one.